Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Green Screen Winch. This week it's the 20. I'll explain that comment later. What episode are we on? We had the
Mate.
It was the
Like the
22nd.
23rd.
Yeah, it was
It's
22nd last week, so it's the 23rd.
It's the
we
oh
haven't
god.
named them for 2 weeks, so
It's because we're so excited to record it, we forget.
that and it's getting increasingly difficult to come up with names because now we're in the 20s. Everything's got to be in with T. So
the 23rd goat herd.
the Goat Herd 23rd episode of the
As the goat herd, the 23rd episode of the
as the Goat Herd. Okay,
what, goat. Okay.
we're going to call it as the Goat Herd, the 23rd episode.
Or other herds of animals like sheep. Is that a herd?
What's the
Yeah.
collective? What's the collective for wankers? Is that a herd?
Unit
A
lost.
herd-
Moving
a
on.
herd of wankers.
Unit lost. So the winch, you made a comment about the winch, didn't you, bloke? This is because we were talking. So I said I hate my life and I need to sort myself out in reference to the way my working conditions have gone crazy because I've become really like not
I
slack.
hate my life and I need to sort myself out. It's so
Not slack.
It's so
It's so
dramatic when the
dramatic.
problem is like some cardboard boxes and some cables. I hate my life.
What a lot of you guys know that I've got extension cables running to that rig over. That's not. I keep calling it a different computer. It's not. It's actually the same computer. You can see the cableized disaster down the bottom, but there's cables all over the floor, right? And they're all extension cables from my main computer to things like webcams, HDMI extension cables, monitor extension, all of that shit. But it means I've just got cables. I was promised a bit of trunking, but it hasn't materialized. So I think I'm gonna have to just go and buy some. Which, to be fair, I don't think it costs a lot, so I should
Oh, I
just
thought
buy
you
it anyway.
bought some. I didn't realise you'd
No.
been promised some and it hadn't arrived.
No, it's going to be acquired from a stockpile illegally. Moving on. So
Illegally. Illegal trunking. Oh, mate, I can get you a bit illegal. Do you want some trunking?
Hey, bro.
You want some
yeah.
trunking? I can get you some trunking, mate. You want some trunking?
I can't do it. It's good with this mic. But anyway, yeah. So I need to I've just
Illegal.
I've
Oh,
let
God.
myself go. I've let myself go, and I've got to sort it out. I need new monitors because my monitor flashes red. My really shit monitor flashes red at me sometimes, angrily.
It's angry. Yeah, it's not happy.
Yeah.
I have to admit,
My other monitor's got colours that are fucking crap because I can't even see the dark, the fucking light. Fucking fuck.
I want another monitor, but mine is.
Do you ever look at monitors though? I look at monitors, right, and it's like, right, I cannot. You remember the glory years CRT monitors, right? They're still the best monitors, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to fucking say it. There might be massive, horrendous hate crime devices that are not even widescreen, so there's no way you can use it in this day and age. But they are the best. Super refresh rates, awesome colour representation, reproduction, fucking kingly. So, we've gone into the age of flat panel wankery, haven't we? So, what do we need?
Panel wankery. What is going on? I
My
hate my life with these cables and trunking and flat panel wankery.
I haven't even explained the winch, have I?
Still got no idea what that means.
I looked at monitors, and I need something with a high refresh rate. I do not want a TM panel, but I'm told modern TM panels have actually got pretty good colours on them compared to my TM panel, which is an XL2411T BenQ, which admittedly was a horrendously expensive monitor when I bought it. It's been a good monitor. It's got a really good stand, but it's only small and it's TM, but it's 144 hertz. This is why I bought it. I cannot live without that refresh rate, or at least being able to go at 120, because 60, to me, is unacceptable now because I just can't play games on it. Like, I'm playing Overwatch at 90 or 100 FPS. The monitor is set to 120 refresh rate. It's dead smooth to me. If you've only got a 60 hertz monitor, you don't get to see the 90 FPS, basically. You just get 60, and it's like, it's gash. But then you look at the monitors, don't you, bloke, like me? And you go down this world of hate crimes and Korean monitors of fucking supposed delight, but actual hate and crime.
I use all 3 monitors that I've got now. But the problem is, I don't use all 3 monitors, because one of them's a fucking TV. It's a 32-inch.
Well, it's the same as me. That's a
1080p
32-inch
TV.
telly. Yeah.
The thing is,
But I use that one behind me for the modelling line.
Yeah, but the thing is, I use it as a monitor all the time, but it's kind of shit for it because for a start, the way monitors and TVs are constructed is slightly different. So if you look at your monitor, like the sort of the bevel around the outside, the frame of the monitor, the screen stops where that frame is, and that's your full resolution you've got contained on the screen itself. On the TV, the screen extends into the frame. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the same thing with my TV downstairs. So when I'm watching stuff, or like if I've got something full screen, or if I move my taskbar over to my TV, it's on auto hide, and even if it wasn't, I can only see the bottom few pixels because you're losing a lot of the screen around the outside. But
you can fix it. There's a thing called it's underscan or overscan, and you can fix it with your graphics drivers to bring it in. Like so, basically, it's not a 1080p image anymore. Yeah, you just cut a few of the pixels off, and it fits in fine. But yeah,
do that. But
TVs are terrible
crap for
monitors.
Text as well. It's no good.
Yeah, because it's 1080p and it's too big. It's shit.
All like,
but
this is the thing. Is like little
Mr. Kirioth, this is the thing. So then I'm like, well, an IPS monitor is what I want, but you only really get 60 hertz refresh rate IPS monitors, of which you can get fairly cheap with really good reviews. But if you get a crazy Korean monitor, you might be able to overclock this to like 120 hertz. And I'm like, right, overclock the monitor. Okay, but that's what I want. But then people saying, yeah, but it's not that good. Dead pixels are a problem. And then it's like, well, okay, if you want a monitor, Mr. Kirioth, Mr. Stylosa, which you've just described to me, you want 120 to 144 hertz plus IPS, 27-inch, fucking 1440p monitor. That'll be 900 quid, please. And I'm like, Well, because there's an Asus ROG Swift, which has got amazing reviews, and it looks dead good. And I'm like, wow. Because I reckon I could just have one monitor then. Because I'd play games in 1080p still. And I'd have like my chat, like if I was streaming and whatever, all on the same monitor, because it'd be so big. Like the resolution would be so high. I don't know. But like then I'm just like, what's the fucking point, Star? You just keep using the monitors you've got. And I probably will until they break. But like I said, that one's flashing red. But I do have, believe it or not, a monitor over there, which I could just get. Which was it's just here on the desk because fucking monitor. There you go. You want a monitor? There's a fucking monitor up your fucking head. Monitors all over the place. But this is a really shit old 22-inch, 1600 by 1200. I think it is.
I don't know. You know what? I genuinely don't know what size mine is. I think mine's 24, maybe.
Yeah, 24 standard. There was some that were 23 point something or other, but
yeah. But I
basically 24-inch.
I hate using this TV as a monitor because like I think it's something to do with what is it? It's like pixels per inch or whatever, or
it's
density.
Too low because the screen's too big.
So like the text looks gash on it. It's good for watching films on Netflix and stuff, but it's no good for actual reading stuff. And when we record Hotfix and Pubcast, I've got my main monitor, which has got like anything that we're showing on the screen. I've got my right-hand monitor, which has got TeamSpeak open, and it's also got Task Manager because I'm eternally paranoid about the hard drive failing, and I want to make sure it's still being in use all the time. Only because that one, I replaced one hard drive because it just collapsed, like it just died. I was in the middle of recording something and it just went, and that was it. It was gone. But I didn't know because for whatever reason OBS didn't tell me there was a problem. It was just like it just went. I was like, you fucking bastard. And then I've got OBS in front of me, so I can see the overlay and I can see the levels and all of that stuff. And of course, so I can change scene and go to the desktop. And then Skype is over on the left-hand monitor because I've got Sty's image capturing from Skype into OBS.
Yeah.
So I use all three. So having less than three would be
disastrous,
a pain in the arse to try and even work out how to do it. Because it would mean having stuff on the screen that I'm constantly looking at to make sure everything's still working, and just because it's better to keep an eye on things and know when something's gone wrong than just have it collapse.
When I had three, I used to use the TV behind me. Remember when I was in the other place and I had the arm on the wall and I had the TV there, and it was actually quite a nice setup that was because behind the computer I had like a little sofa and I could sit back on that and watch films on the 32-inch telly, which was the third monitor. And I was getting I did use that for things like Skype. I mean, hell, when I used to do the hotfix recordings and stuff, that's why I had three monitors. You kind of do need it. Like, I mean, you could do it with two, but it just gets a bit dodgy. Like, I mean, we're like extreme examples of fucking monitor use and God knows what. But yeah, I kind of probably do need one at some point. But let me explain the winch. Look up above, ladies and gentlemen.
The winch.
See that? That is the frame for the green screen. You can see I've just chucked the green screen in the corner on top. I just pushed my monitor down. So let me just...
What have you...
Yeah, it's got a telescopic... Oh. Well,
It's all
the
going wrong,
DVI
mate.
cable has just fell out the back of the monitor. So I'll be with you in a moment.
The light on your face changed slightly. It went slightly darker, and it was like, I wonder what's happened there. Now we get to see him. It's all gone black, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry.
I've got my
Don't worry.
hand over
He's
the
still
webcam
there.
because it's where I need to hold the fucking...
He's still there. Don't worry about it. Oh, God. So what I want to do is I want to get we'll replace the TV with a monitor and put another monitor on the left. I'll probably get a better monitor and put the new monitor in the middle, and then have my old monitor on the left. And then I want to put the TV on the wall
disastrous.
above where I am now, so that then I can. If I want to watch a film, I can lean back in my chair. And just watch some...
God! What the? I'll tell you why I suddenly got my monitor. God damn it! I can't get to it. I literally cannot get to it. Hang on.
Some soundproofing there. That's fine.
That's I don't know what that is. Oh.
Bit of desk. Nice
Fucking hell! What the hell is this about?
What have you?
I don't know. Oh, there we go.
He's going to need a new monitor sooner than he thought.
It's in. It's in.
He lives. Does he live? Bring him back to us.
Oh, Jesus fucking hell. It's massively extended. Go down. Go down.
You know what? I could easily just edit this out, but I'm not going to because.
Why are you going to edit it out? It's comedy gold, bloke. Fucking edit it out. I'll fire your ass if you give me that shit. I keep saying that to you recently. I'm going to fire you, bloke.
Yeah, but I took over
you
the company.
shit stain.
Hostile takeover.
What's going on here?
Key.
Right, okay.
Oh dear.
Only edit it out if any sensitive information was shown. And was it? Was it?
Well, no.
It's turned off again. This is disastrous. What the fuck?
We are witnessing literally the moment that Stein needs to get a new monitor.
It's a bit too high, ain't it, the monitor?
It's maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but
although the webcam is also pointing at the ceiling, which you did intentionally, so that's
true. But it's
no, that is a bit. You really far down suddenly.
Okay, right. Listen, I fucking hate it when I mess with the monitor height because I had it just perfect, and I don't know why I had it at before. Why is everything coming to me?
Do you know? I measure my perfect monitor height. It is the exact height of the collector's edition of Dawn of War 2 Retribution, lying down.
You weirdo.
That's the height off the table, but it's only that because that's what it's standing on. Because I didn't want to get. If you try to
shut up,
like
bloke.
A decent
I've
monitor
got to explain the
it's
winch,
terrible.
and
You can't find one.
That's why you buy a quality monitor like mine because you can spin the fucking screen and go all over the place.
Yeah, but was. I stole it. That's a lie. I didn't really. I've been playing too many violent video games. I'm a thief now.
Have you been playing Thief, have you, bloke? This, are you now a medieval master thief with
what
water
do they call the last
balloons?
one? Thief.
Oh, it was shit.
Four instead of an E.
I've got this frame, which I'll hang the green screen on, which you can see in the corner behind me. But it's just permanently up now, because, and like Kiri said, but you're using it every day. I said, well, yeah, I am. But I used to take it down, because I hate things being a mess. But I've just got to the point where it's become acceptable. And now I feel dirty. And I need a winch. I said the only way to fix this is a winch mechanism on the roof, which somehow winches it up.
Do you know what you could do? And this would be a lot easier. And it's going to sound like a mental idea, but it would work.
You got a problem with my fucking winch?
It would work. Where it is now,
right?
How far down does it extend? Is it standing on the ground, ain't it?
Yeah.
Could it reach the ceiling, or is there no?
No. No, I think it's fully extended.
How far down does the green screen go? Like, do you have it all the way to the floor behind you, or does it just go like all the way down? Is it folded over anything?
No, it's fully extended, the green screen, but because I have it landscape and not that way, because I want like the width behind me, it goes down to about a foot off the floor.
Because if you lifted the whole thing, you could literally just get brackets up the top, put the green screen up there permanently, and then when you're not using it,
bring it down. That's what I mean by a winch.
But you could just get the whole frame, and you could just tip it up, just have a little hook on one side, and hook it into the ceiling, and then when you want to use it, just unhook it, and the whole thing, green screen and the whole lot
as well,
just swings down, and then it behind you.
I've got another problem with this as well. Look at the walls; they're all white apart from the.
You need some colour.
Soundproofing. I do not want to put anything on the wall. Like I look at it and I'm like, it looks so clean and so nice. I don't want to
I
put
wouldn't be able
something
to
in
do
the
that.
wall.
You need some color in there, son. I wouldn't be able.
I'm like some bland minimalist freak boy when it comes to decorating. Right, anyway,
Bland
what the fuck?
minimalist freak boy.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
Right, Mr. Kirioth, we're not going to start with Overwatch because we'll be talking about that in a minute. We're going to talk about other games we've played this week. So, what have you played?
Well, I played Vermintide a fair bit. I played a fair bit of Vermintide. That actually.
So this is launched now, isn't it?
Yeah. It is genuinely a very fun game. I've got to hand it to him. At first, I wasn't entirely sure. I thought it was a bit too Left 4 Dead, and I thought the whole, well, I'd say it's a bit too Left 4 Dead. It just is Left 4 Dead, but in Warhammer, but with rats instead of zombies. But it is really, really fun. The loot system, even though I've been shafted by it time and time again, is a good incentive to keep playing. So I could see people keep playing that game where people who otherwise would have stopped, like people who played Left 4 Dead and then went, well, that's all right, but I'm not playing it again.
Yeah.
The voice acting is really good. Just the general atmosphere of the game is really good as well. The only problem that I have with it really is that it's still enjoyable, it's still fun, but the combat's very repetitive for me.
Yeah.
Because all you can do is slash. You can slash people, you can stab people, but some of the weapons don't have a stab, they also have a slash. And there are some weapons that just feel better than others. So, like, if you look, for example, I like the Witch Hunter the most out of all the classes. And there is no point using the multi-barreled revolver pistol, whatever it's called. It's got like 8 shots in one massive barrel. There's no point because you can fire all 8 shots off at once and it acts like a shotgun, or you can fire the shots off individually, but they're not as accurate as using the 2 pistols together to do rapid fire. The shotgun blast is all right, but it would only be useful if you had a weapon that didn't do AoE damage, which 2 out of 3 of his weapons do.
Yeah.
And given that I found that the 2-handed sword, the big Zweihander, is by far the best weapon for me personally, there's literally no point using that gun. The only other ranged weapon that I've found for him so far has been a crossbow, which is totally shit because you get one shot every 2 seconds.
Is that like the dwarf crossbow? Yeah,
it's really crap. So I found a decent weapon setup, but it's also the only weapon setup that seems to do as much damage as I want it to. So, like, the hatchet is crap because it only really hits one target, and it does a fair amount of damage, but still not as much as the massive 2-hander.
Yeah.
The rapier he's got, again, it's like, it can hit multiple targets, and you can fire whilst blocking, which is pretty cool, but it doesn't do as much damage as the Zweihander. And so I'm just using the 2-handed sword and the 2 one-handed pistols, and that's my weapon setup for that guy, and I get the horrible feeling that will always be the weapon
always
setup for
be
that
the
guy.
way you play. Yeah,
because
that's the biggest problem I've got with this game, the way the combat works in it, because the game looks great. Like we said in Hotfix, it looks like what you'd expect it to look like. Graphically, the fidelity is quite good and everything, but the combat is like, why didn't they just take the combat from Chivalry? I mean, even that's basic. Why? Like, because when you go into attack like Storm Vermin, right, you can put your block up, can't you? And then you can like push them back. Or stagger everything. It just staggers everything regardless. But you can't like have an actual duel with the Storm Vermin because you can't deflect his blow or predict where he's going to hit, then hit him. You just wail in like this, and it's like, right, there's my block. Carry on wailing, block. Carry on wailing. I mean, by far the most boringest class I fucking played was the dwarf. Right, he was abysmal. Like, he was abysmal. He's got his shield where I think he gets 5 stamina like shield block things where you can bash back. Basically means you can just do it endlessly. So you sit there with your shield up, you're not taking any damage, you're just knocking people back over and over again. And I played him with the sword, the big 2-handed sword he had. I think that might have been a Zweihander as well. And that was like, it was okay, but what was the point? You know, if you're a witch hunter doing that, your DPS should be doing that. He should have the shield, the dwarf, and it's Bright Wizard. The Bright Wizard is still enjoyable from what I played of her, but yeah, I just think that game's going to suffer with people playing it in any kind of longer period of time. You might play it for a bit. I think if you get the game, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think if you buy the game and you enjoyed Left 4 Dead and you're a fan of Warhammer and whatever, you will enjoy this because
it's very well done. It's just I just don't think the concept of it and the way that they've implemented that is something that's going to keep me that interested for all that long. And I mean, I said jokingly when I streamed it the other day, I was like, the only problem with this game is that it's not Overwatch. because when that comes out, I want to play that. And that, in a way, that's part of it. But the main reason where I haven't...
What you mean? So it's just a game that was like a little poxy stopgap. Now you just don't care anymore.
Honestly, I don't, because when I played it was like, yeah, this is a fun time waster. But I never once thought to myself, I'm going to be playing this for hours and hours and hours. I thought to myself I would, but then I remembered, well, there's other games that I want to play, and there are some things that I would put off for other games. Like when I was playing Destiny for a good amount of time, I would play other games, but only for a little bit, and then go back to Destiny. Vermintide just didn't grab me in the same way, and I think it is just down to the combat. It's because it's very samey, and it doesn't feel like it changes that much, and it can't change that much. It's like when you talk about how it'd be good if you could actually have proper duels and things. I agree with that, but the problem is that the game is a horde game, so you're constantly fighting waves and waves of enemies, and there's no room for finesse in that. It's like the whole thing of, oh well, you need to block, you need to push people back. No, you don't. At least not on normal difficulty. You can just stand there and wail and wail and wail, and it's...
But then I'd say it would be nice for it to be... I mean, Storm Vermin, they are not waves and waves. Storm Vermin are like elite Skaven, big Skaven. When they come, it should be right now. It's a dual mode. Like, I know you get the shit fucking Skaven piling in by the fucking 1,000, which, you know, is what they would do. But it's a bit too one-dimensional. And once you've played it, like now, seriously, I have no urge to play that game again. I don't think like, oh yeah, I want to have a game of Vermintide. I'm just like,
I think there's also...
I played it. I wasn't really a big fan of Left 4 Dead though. So
maps are like inconsistent as well. Some of the maps are really good. Like that first map you do, the Horn of Magnus, that is a really good map. That's really enjoyable. But some of them are really short, like stupidly short.
Oh yeah, that one we did, and I was like, what? It's finished?
Yeah, there's a couple like that that we have that I've kind of played, and then I've been like, is that it? Where's the rest of it? Like in the other maps, it's kind of gone on and on, but this one is like a quarter of the length, nowhere near the difficulty, but I'm still getting the same rewards, and that feels a little bit cheap. And I know it's probably not. It's because it's supposed to be a sort of a campaign. You know, you're playing through a story, so to speak, but that doesn't make it any less jarring when it happens. When you've had a really long quality map where there's multiple ways to go, and there's there's storm vermin everywhere, and you might come across a couple of rat ogres, and it's like, oh god, that was an ordeal. I'm amazed we managed to finish that. Holy shit, that was good. And then the next map you play, it's done in like 10 minutes. What?
You feel cheated, don't you? Because you've played a map which is so intensive, and that's what these games need to do, give you that feeling of, holy shit, we've just made it through. And then suddenly it's like, it's a cakewalk. This map is going to take you 2 minutes, and it's done. Yeah,
I don't like that at all. And things like the ones where you blow up the Doom wheels, the Skaven Doom wheels.
Yeah.
I've worked out why the barrels explode. It's because they get hit, and they can just explode naturally if they get hit by shot or weapons or anything. The problem is that the game doesn't really tell you that. I only worked that out because I saw it happen to someone else. And little things like that kind of frustrate me. Like, I don't want stuff to be handed to you on a silver platter, like, oh, when you go near these barrels, be careful, they may explode, or something like that. But little incidental details can really help. So, like, if a Skaven had run past a barrel, and there was, like a scripted event, so he runs past, or, something hits the barrel he's running past and it explodes, I would then be like, okay, we need to watch out for those then. Instead, you're carrying them, some Skaven hits you in the spine, and then like 15 seconds later you die. Or the barrel explodes. There's not really a lot to go on there because you're constantly getting hit by Skaven. That's what the game's about. There's like it's a tide of Skaven, literally. It's in the name of the game. So if you then...
The barrel thing seems quite overused as well. I've seen that on a lot of maps. It's always like, oh, now get the barrels. It's like, right.
It's strange. And especially when you consider things like the Bright Wizard. If you've got a Bright Wizard on the team, why are you moving Explosive Barrel over to a Doom Wheel when you've got a Bright Wizard there who can blow it up? Explosions? It doesn't really make any sense. And things like the dwarves, and dwarf is a technological guy. The dwarves are a technological race in Warhammer.
They have no magic.
Every other fantasy.
Yeah, no magic. They don't believe in that shit.
But
they don't believe in religion, do they? They're just fucking... I don't think they believe in religion, do they? I don't think they do they?
So, no.
They're just like scientific, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got a dwarf on your team, why is there not an option for the Bright Wizard to burn the Doom Wheels? Or why can't the dwarf sabotage the Doom Wheels? Or maybe the Witch Hunter has got some option to I don't know, cancel out the warp energy that powers them, something like that. Anything but barrels, because that's also something else that I don't like in games where it's forcing you to carry something that slows you down or makes it so that you are not as maneuverable or not capable of playing the game. I don't like the barrels in Vermintide because they take away your ability to attack in a game where you are there
You're getting
for one
flooded
reason,
with enemies.
to attack enemies that are flooding around you, yeah. And it's like, well, this is a bit shit because now I'm really slow. I can't fucking jump, and I also can't attack. Then you got to put it down, waste them, pick it up again, move it over, put it down, waste them, and it feels like padding. And the thing is, that game doesn't. The thing that, yeah, that's what irritates me actually. The game doesn't need padding because the level design is really quite good, like 90% of the time. It doesn't need to be made any longer with like stupid carry this heavy barrel where you can't attack sequences because it's already long enough. It doesn't need that kind of we need to make them really work for it, because even on normal mode, if you come across a storm vermin patrol, you're gonna lose at least 2 people probably, unless you've got bombs on every person in the group and people are really with it and are able to stop them immediately. You'll lose someone, maybe 2 people. Same for rat ogres. The game's really difficult enough. Introducing stuff where it's like, oh, you can be walking slowly and you can't attack. It feels a little bit lazy, and it feels at odds with the rest of the game because the rest of it feels quite well done. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to play it more, but I think I would have to be sick of other games I'm playing at the moment to go back to it, just because it's not offering the same level of entertainment as other stuff right now. And I think that's what it boils down to. It's a good enough game, but it's not entertaining me enough for me to want to go back to it anytime soon.
You just think this is going to be a game like in a week's time or 2 weeks' time? It's going to be impossible to find a game for?
I don't know. I think there'll be a good number of people still playing, because people still play Left 4 Dead 2, and that's God knows how long old. And
but
it's got that added incentive of loot and a bit of character customization as well. I think the same people who stuck around and played Left 4 Dead for years and years will probably stick around and play this for years and years, because it's pretty much the same game.
But you could kind of say that about any game, though. I mean, with the recent RTS games that came out, so the Active War.
Yeah.
Was it Active War?
Active
from Focus. Active Aggression, yeah. I think Active War was the previous ones. That was a really good game. That was Generals 2, but then nobody plays it now, and you just cannot get a game. But there still are people that play it. There's still 10 or 20 people who probably play it who are really good, but I don't know. Right, so the other game, well, the game that I played this week was Ashes of the Singularity. Now, this was very interesting.
Which I should bring up now.
I was looking forward to this. I spoke to Stardock. I mean, we did a brand deal with Stardock for Galactic Civ 3.
Yeah.
And they said to me at the time, oh, Ashes of the Singularity will be coming out. Blah, blah, blah. This is not a brand deal that I've done because I don't think they wanted to go down that route anymore. But I got this game. I bought the early access version of it, which has got a massive warning which says, warning, this will destroy your computer because it's not optimized. It's fucking massive scale. And yeah, but they told me from speaking to them during the when we did the Civ 3 stuff, that what it was going to be, this big, massive scale RTS game. And then we started seeing video footage coming out where they had the impressive demo of the I think it's now defunct, but it was an ATI system, well, an AMD system, where it could render like shitloads of units all at the same time and all this crap. But DirectX 12 does help with that as well. So what this is, I think this is the new Supreme Commander, but it's got some little twists. Now, in the sense of Supreme Commander, it is massive scale. You'll see through the video Kiri's showing you, it's massive. This is just one of the smallest maps as well. So you can get massive maps. The idea is to capture nodes that are all over the map. Now, the nodes do different things, right? Triangle nodes are the ones you need to win the game. Now, there's only one victory condition at the moment that was in the game when I recorded this, where you have to capture these pumps which collect this certain resource. Once you've got, I think it's like 1,600 or so in the game of that resource, then you win. That's the win condition, right? So you need to fight over these 2 points. But all the other points on the map, like the squares and the circles, they give you different things. Like the square gives you mass, exactly like Supreme Commander. Right? So you go to the square area, there'll be like a little power generator. You put your units around it, you capture the power generator, there'll be like creep units around there, so just like NPC units. Capture the power generator. That then allows you to power the mass extractors I think they're called metal extractors, but it's mass extractors. It's exactly ripped from Supreme Commander. You get your engineer, so again, Supreme Commander, you build the mass extractor, and then it adds that to your economy. And the economy is exactly the same as Supreme Commander. So it's not like Command and Conquer where you've got resources in the bank, or StarCraft where you've got resources in the bank. It's one of the flow economy systems where you can spend resources even if you don't have them. Like if something costs 1,000 resources to build, but you've only got 200 in the bank, but you're making a certain number of resources per second that you can cover the expenditure of 1,000, then you can do it. So it's exactly the same as Supreme Commander. If you've played Supreme Commander, it's the same. The other resource instead of power, because in Supreme Commander it's power and it's mass and energy, isn't it? It's radioactives. Now radioactives are the circle on the map. So in the minimap, you can see like little circles. You capture one of them, they'll have a little radioactive pump where you can build like a radioactive mass extractor essentially, and you get that. So those are the resources in the game at the moment. The other resource is quantum energy, I think it is, or quantum something, where you can build these stations which just generate you quantum power, and then you can spend that on resources, on upgrades for your units. So at the moment, it's very basic because it's pre-alpha, pre-beta. It even says on the video. And some people fail to understand that in the comments of the video, the cabbages.
Surely not.
Yeah, who would have thunk it? And you can spend that resource on upgrades, but they're pretty simple. So you've got like just increase your unit's health, increase your unit's damage, increase your unit cap as well. Like I think a guy in the comments was like, "Oh, you've only got a population of 200." No, that's because I only bought 2 upgrades to my population. You can keep upgrading it. I don't know what the max cap is, but you can keep upgrading it. So how does this game work? Well, it's exactly like Supreme Commander. I can't say that enough. You build factories, factories build units, you can put engineers to assist on the factories to keep building the units. If that is not Supreme Commander, I don't know what is. Then you can build massive land battleships, which are basically experimental units from Supreme Commander, and they do crazy things. Like you get an AoE one, which is really good at blowing up like all the smaller units. You get a anti-dreadnought one, which fires like a massive laser at the fucking enemy battleships to blow them up. Then you get a siege one, which is like a massive artillery platform. What's interesting though is the game is about like, in the video I said it's kind of like Ground Control 2, if anybody's played that out there, where in Ground Control, or even Ground Control 1, but Ground Control 2, for whatever reason I played more, you control points and you could put these shield domes over the points, right? And it would be like, that's where because you're controlling the ground, as is the name of the game. This is very similar to that, because the only 2 points that matter on the map are those 2 triangles, and you need to control them. And if the computer controls one and I control the other one, nobody gets any resources. You have to control both, or you have to control more than the enemy, right? So what you do is you build massive fortifications on the point, and then it's about breaking fortifications and installing fortifications on these points, and then also trying to run like little raids to try and wreck their economy a little bit. The massive battleships have got mega sustain when other units are around them. So they get buffs when other units are near them, but you can get like medic units which repair them, all right, and drone swarms and all this sort of shit which will repair these units. And you end up with these, you don't see it so much in this video, but you do end up when you get better at the game with these like massive pitched battles where you've just got massive armies fucking blasting each other, and it looks crazy. It's like, what the hell?
I've just seen an engagement between 2 fairly big armies with like massive sort of battleship style things. I think it is called, having a big fight and then your bombers come in and wreck it. It is so it's so reminiscent.
It's just Supreme Commander.
It's just Supreme Commander. It doesn't even. I was going to say it's very reminiscent, but it just is. That's what it is, isn't it?
You can see some Sins of Solar Empire influences, like the unit selection panel on the left. That's totally ripped out of Sins, because there were times where
I was actually thinking that the nodes themselves are kind of Sins in a way, because a big part
they're like
of
gravity
Sins
wells,
is, but it's like gravity wells and different resources as well. Like you need to go to different planets to get different resources to keep your economy going. It's very much. It's kind of an interesting mix of both, isn't it?
Yeah, I am. Now, obviously, because it's pre-beta, they only have one faction in the game, minimal units in the game, and it's playable. I think I was getting like 40 or so FPS if I was lucky. I put the benchmark at the end of the video just so if people were interested, they could see what my specs were and what the results were I was getting. It's very CPU intensive. Now I've got a hexa-core CPU, so that obviously helps me quite a bit. But I am looking forward to this. I am a little bit worried that if it does remain so system heavy, that it'll be difficult to play against people, almost like Supreme Commander was when that came out back in the day, where unless you had a quad-core CPU, you were fucked. And even if you had a quad-core CPU, you were still, like, you had problems.
Yeah.
I didn't even have it was heavily CPU dependent, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I want to see this develop because more units, more like I like RTS games. I like StarCraft, yeah, but StarCraft you have to be on the ball all the time to play that game.
Yeah.
I much prefer if you came to me and said, "Sty, what's your ideal RTS game?" There's a reason why I liked Command and Conquer, especially like games like Generals or Command and Conquer 3, because you could play the StarCraft game, but you could also play like the turtley defensive game as well. Why the hell did I like Supreme Commander? Because holy shit, it was massive, and you could play the sort of defensive game. For me, a lot of I like building a big base. It might sound stupid, but I like having this big base, this big impressive base with all the defenses, and then building a big army and going on a big crusade. To me, that's what I like to do, right? In a casual RTS game. I'm not saying
I play
this is casual.
RTS games.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying this game is casual because I mean it won't be multiplayer, like if competitive multiplayer. But I could see me and you playing a game here, and it wouldn't be like, oh god, one guy's got a massive advantage. It would just be a good fight, and it wouldn't be, you could have a massive army slamming to each other and see what happens. Look at my massive defensive position on a ridge, and I've got like loads of artillery and all kinds of shit going on.
That was some of the best fun that we had in Supreme Commander, was when we got like a group of people together and we set like a time, and it was like, okay, let's have 20 minutes, and then let's have a massive fight in the middle, and you just build as much as you possibly could, and then you'd all just sit there, send your armies in and just gawk at it, because it would just be like the destruction would be insane. You'd have experimentals walking through, annihilating everything, stuff falling out of the sky, and it was really, really impressive to watch. But it was a quality RTS experience without you sitting there hammering the keyboard and being like, ugh, like for like 20 minutes straight. You could have massive sprawling games that were hours long, but they were still fair and they were still fun, and you didn't have to wreck yourself in the process. And that's what I love about RTS games anyway. I like the turtle approach. When I say that I don't like base building in strategy games, I've said that before. In a way, that's not true. I like base building in strategy games. I don't like having to combine base building with like micro control, StarCraft style.
That's the thing with this.
I'm
Supreme
very much
Commander
a
and
defensive player. So
the distinction is macro. Like this is a macro RTS game. It's not about micro. You could say, yeah, it is about micro when you've got shitloads of units and you're zoomed out and you're ordering like little groups around, but you're not actually micro controlling the fucking Marine, running backwards and forwards, shooting while also spamming the keyboard to make sure your build order's still going. No, it's not that intensive. And they're definitely, it's more of a thinking man's RTS game than a how fast can you press the button kind of RTS game. But obviously, pressing the buttons fast is going to help you. But somebody who's more strategically aware could break a position open where somebody who wants to go in and maybe micro is not going to be able to do that because the game doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't allow you to micro because it does, but you can't micro individual units because for a start they're not worth microing. So why would you do that? Maybe certain things like the bombers, you would micro the bombers. You wouldn't want them just flying around doing whatever, but it's definitely one to watch, and I'm quite happy with the reception the video's got. As I say, some of the comments are borderline fucking idiotic. I mean, I can probably just find some comments if I just roll through. Yeah, here we go. So, totally not StarCraft, totally not micromanaging, totally no weight to units, and totally the next Supreme Commander. Except all of that is not true by one simple reason. There's a fucking unit cap, right? But I don't actually know what it is, but in the video, mate, I'd only upgraded twice. Yeah, actually, he says the fact of having the unit cap means you can infinitely produce. If you can't infinitely produce unit armies, obviously. Instead, this guy can't speak English. Instead, you must have a very well balanced composition of 200 units. I don't think that's true because I only upgraded it twice. And even if it is, that wouldn't be at the end of when the game launched because it's in pre-beta. Why would they have a game that is based on thousands of units fighting each other, have a cap of 200? What kind of ludicrous logic is that, you cabbage?
Also,
it's just and then he says, other than that, it looks kind of shiny. Both races are way too similar. Well, there's only one race in the game, and I say that in the video. And I doubt it will be any other fun than a LAN party fight every other week or so. So there's a lot of I don't understand when you make a YouTube video how you can convey to somebody you convey it in the video's description. Maybe you convey it in the title, and then you say to them, this is pre-beta. It is not finished. There is one faction in the game, and somebody comes along and they're like, "Oh, both these factions look the same." You're like, "Oh
And
man."
comments like this, which is just so fucking. It's priced at $40. If they want to sell it at $5, then I'd be more than happy to help them hash out bugs. At $40, it's a disgrace to the gaming community. What?
It's a niche
What?
title being developed
What?
for like.
The
Yeah,
other thing
exactly.
that
Why?
something else that I really
Crazy.
don't understand, and we see this quite a lot on videos. And I'm sure a lot of people see this on videos all over the place. Stuff like where you say it's like the new Supreme Commander. First
Yeah.
of all, that's not a literal thing. It's not an actual sequel, as someone seems to think here, because they said, I'm
Yeah,
reporting
yeah.
this as misleading. That's, don't be an idiot. That's obviously not what it means. But when people say things like, nah, try Forged Alliance Forever, they're not. It's like it's not Supreme Commander. It's like Supreme Commander. It's influence. It's the same style of game. But you wouldn't say to someone, "Oh well, have you tried Counter Strike Global Offensive? It's a new first person shooter. Now, mate, try Call of Duty." No.
Yep.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that? That kind of thing really bugs me because it kind of gives this impression, and obviously game developers are a lot hardened to this, but it's like, oh, why would you even bother to try and make that when this fan mod exists? We don't like your game because it's not the game that you aren't making. I just don't understand that side of things. It's just a bit of a crazy kind of mental attitude. It's like, I would never play that because this thing that someone else has done is slightly similar, and therefore yours is not as good. What?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's. I mean, people have been doing it with Overwatch as well. Oh, it's just a game like Team Fortress 2. I don't know why people are getting hyped
when they
about it.
do that though,
But
they kind of they blind themselves to what is potentially there and what actually is there. Like for instance, I mean, Ashes of Singularity.
it's like
It
they're
is
seeing
very,
things, but they're
it is
not
very
registering what they're
Supreme
seeing.
Commander. But when you look at
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it does have elements from so many other things. It does have elements from Sins of a Solar Empire. Those node things, they're planets. That's what they are. They're planets with different resources on. So you go and you capture them and you defend them, and you don't want to lose them again. Supreme Commander didn't have that. That's not what Supreme Commander is. And it might have things like kind of experimental equivalent units and stuff, but that doesn't make it the same game. And if you
No.
go to every game and go, this looks like another game that I like, therefore I refuse to like this game, you're never going to fucking play anything, are you? You're never going to play anything new. I mean, I watched that video and I was like, oh shit, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. Because it does look like Supreme Commander, but it looks like Supreme Commander with changes, with differences, with little tweaks here and there, with like ideas taken from other games that, funnily enough, I think it's the same studio and indeed the same publisher produced to begin with. So why would I not want to support something where someone's gone, let's take all the things that we love from this genre of games and put them into one game? Why would you not want to support that? Why would
No,
you
I
just go,
don't.
no, that's not that? It's baffling. It's just weird. I don't get it.
Comments are like diving into comments is very baffling because what you get is this like unfiltered like stream of consciousness from people who've watched your video, and with the best will in the world, I mean, go back to your No Man's Sky video. It's like you're just saying, I don't know what this game is. Why they're not, you're not saying the game is bad, yet
Yeah.
people turn up and they're like, this guy don't know what he's talking about. He say the game's crap, we don't even know. And it's like, that's not what he said. But why are they commenting like that? There must be a reason because they see something or they think that it's just so ludicrous.
I'm sure with that video,
it's
it's just the title. Because I asked the question, is it destined to fail because we don't know enough about it and it's been marketed without giving us a clear idea of what it's about? And people have seen the title, they've removed the question mark in their head and said, he says it's going to fail. And I'm like, no, that's not what I've said. I've said I'm worried that it might do because we don't know what the hell's going on with the game.
Yeah.
But if you, but that doesn't matter, does it? Like what you actually say in the video and what you show in the video, to some people, it's like they don't so much put their own spin on it as they form a conclusion before they've actually listened or
They're fucking
before they've
crazy.
absorbed. It's just like instead of absorbing the information, they've kind of done a surface skim. It's like if you go through a book and you read every other page and then go away and say, well, that book was totally shit. How would you know? How did you get a good feeling for that when you like willfully blinded yourself to half of the information in that book? It's a stupid way to read a book. It's a stupid way to watch a video. So don't do it. It's like, for God's sake.
YouTube comments do have a place though. When I see people turning YouTube comments off, I get why they do it because comments are terrible. But some comments are good to read. They'll say things like, they might give you an idea, or it's honest criticism when it's good criticism, not when it's like completely
Yeah.
cabbage criticism, like a guy we had a while back who was, I even forget what he was doing, but it was the Star Wars video claiming that I'd gone to somebody's channel and made it. I mean, why would I do that in the first place? It was just, it's crazy.
That whole thing was just like we're really lucky, right? I know it probably sounds like we're hating on any of you that comment. We're not. We're incredibly lucky because when you look at the quality of the comments on our videos compared to the quality of the comments on some other channels' videos, channels smaller, channels bigger, we have absolutely looked out because we have a really good community surrounding Unit Lost, and we have people who will actually watch the video and listen to what we've said, and they'll, even if they call us out, the vast majority of the time, if someone calls us out with like a long comment, it's not a dickhead comment. It's not just like, oh, you're a fucking retard, you know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. It will be actually deconstructing what we've said, forming an opinion, and replying back to it. And that's what we're used to. So then when occasionally we put out a video that is like maybe a bit controversial or talks about a game that we don't like that everyone else does, or has an unpopular viewpoint on something that other people have already made their mind upon, then that's when we start to get the mad comments. And that thing with the the video that you apparently stole from Jack Frags, even though we didn't know he'd made one. Because why would you? Because it's impossible to watch every YouTuber video.
And also, I was making the video.
Making the video anyway, so how would you have time to watch it? They were published within like an hour of each other. I mean, for God's sake, that's not how it works. But that whole thing, that was an example of another phenomenon where someone who claims to be a fan or claims to be a follower or claims to really enjoy what you do will see something and they'll snap judgment at it. They'll go, that's bullshit. I've already seen someone do a video like that. And this is exactly what happened with that guy. And he was like, this is bullshit. This person's made this video. I couldn't tell you what his original comment was because he got auto-moderated. I'm assuming he included a link to said video, but you can't link in YouTube comments.
No, because it just gets rid of it.
It just gets rid of it. So I'm assuming what he did was he said, you've copied this video, and he linked it in, and obviously it got deleted because you can't do that. But then that's when, instead of people sitting back, and it's obviously it's not the majority that do this, it's the minority, but that's what makes it so kind of, in a way, shocking when it happens. Instead of sitting back and going, oh, why did that happen? Instead, like, the victim complex takes over. It's like, they're trying to silence my opinion. And that's what happened there, because there's this whole thing of, why did you delete my comment? And we had no idea what the fuck was going on. I went to the video like an hour after it was published, and you hadn't looked at the comments either, and I was like, the fuck is this guy talking about? And I sent it to you, and I was like, did you do that? And you're just like, no. What he's talking. I don't know what he's talking about. We hadn't even checked it, and there was this whole thing just devolving in the comments of like just crazy accusations and stuff. And that's why kind of negative comments, especially on our videos, in some ways take me back a little bit. Like, oh god, what the hell? It's because most of the time when you reply to us or leave comments, it's either to say the video was good, I liked the video, I liked what you said, or I disagree with what you said, here is why. Or there was a mistake in this bit, just letting you know, which again is actually really helpful. If something fucks up and we don't know about it, like even if it's in like after the encoding process or something, or maybe YouTube's just fucked the vid up or something like that, telling us is good because then we can fix it. And that's what we get most of the time. It's like, good, I disagree, but here's why. I think actually this is probably more what you were trying to say. And then it's like, yes, and you can have a conversation and it's all good. And then occasionally it's, no, this game's shit. Or, no, your video's shit. And it's like, why? Because it is. And you're like, oh okay, sorry.
Thank you for the value input.
I thought you were a reasonable person for a second, but then it turns out you weren't, and I was mistaken. I do apologise. And then you leave. Then you wonder what the fuck's going on. Yeah, we are. I mean, really though, we are incredibly lucky with our community because it's so rare.
But the thing is, well, yeah, but we're not that big. The thing is, like that type of crazed comment thing which goes down, it happens all the time on like really big YouTube channels, and that's why I think they turn it off. Because I mean, you imagine if every day you had some fucking crazy who believes they've been wronged or they've took something in a completely different way as it was intended, and then they just argue, you would just turn off the comments. So maybe it's a bit rich of me to say, well, they do have their use, because if you've got more comments, I guess then you probably would turn them off. But anyway, Mr. Kirioth, there is another game that we played this week, and it's Overwatch, because that's the only other game I have played this week.
Yep.
Oh, well, I played Blood Bowl, but I always play Blood Bowl. Overwatch, was not what was expected at all.
No, I'd agree with that. I thought it would be as advertised, to be honest. When Blizzard talked about Overwatch, they kind of stressed it as the FPS game that the casual player can just jump into, and it's going to be like beginner friendly, and it's, you know, like even if you're not great at FPS games, you'll be able to play Overwatch, and you know there's support classes and there's tanks, and you know, for me, I'm terrible at FPS games. I do enjoy them, but I've never claimed to be any good at them, and because I'm not good at them, I tend to stick to things like, well, like RTS games and racing games and stuff like that, and space sims. And so when Overwatch dropped, I was like, oh yes, let's give it a go. If they think that is what casual players are going to go for, they are off their rocker. They've absolutely lost the plot. There is no way. It's so fast. The game is incredibly quick. I've seen people on, it's always Reddit, isn't it? Saying things like, "Oh, well, actually, the game's quite slow."
Oh, right, yeah, because they're fucking top tier Quake Arena fucking pros or Quake Live pros.
That was, you know, honestly, that was one of the comparisons I saw. Someone was like, "Well, it's hardly like Quake Live, is it?" And I was thinking,
"Fucking hell,
it's not meant to be. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you on about?" And to suggest that the game isn't quick because it's not the same speed as something like that is like, well, I mean that Fiat Punto is not very quick. It's hardly a Ferrari. Well, no, they're not really built for the same fucking purpose,
same company though, mate. Fucking hell, it should be the same.
But yeah, it's really enjoyable, but it's so fast and straight away
surprisingly quick, isn't
it? I think the thing is that the actual, you know, the speed of the game may not be that incredibly quick, but the action of the game is. So like getting from the base to the action, I think is where people probably watch it and think, oh, that's kind of slow. But then you get into the fight, and depending on the character you play, you go mental. Like Tracer is a really good example, and in fact, I will pull up your Tracer video now so people can see what I'm talking about. Prepare yourselves for massive eye attack, because Tracer is ridiculous to watch.
Tracer, I mean, Tracer. I've made 2 videos on this game so far. One of them is me just killing people with Tracer because I'm quite good with her. The other one was me saying Overwatch is casual, not likely, love, because that's a quote from Tracer, you know, meta. Yeah, she is an extreme example of this game's speed. Her class is, so what she does is she's got 2, like, I don't even know what they're like pulse pistols or something. They've got some sort of crazed energy in them because she travels through time, you know, whatever her stupid lore is. They do not very much damage. They fire really quick, like, and then they're out of ammo, and then they're out of ammo. The range is basically non-existent. You can still shoot people at range, but you're doing absolutely jack shit damage to them. But you may as well shoot them, because, as I'm getting onto, that is the point of her. She's like ultimate harassment. I say she's like a tank, because she is in a way, because she ties up team members. She's designed to tie up the DPS of the other team, I think, and kill the supports, because she's jumping all over the place dead quick. You blink, you can move like crazy. So you can blink forward, backwards, left, or right. And you can do it 3 times in quick succession if you save up the charges, which you can see in the middle of the screen with those chevrons. Also, you press E, you rewind time, so you go back to where you just came from a few seconds ago. It's like, okay, so you can, I kill, I mean, have you got the video up, Mr. Kirioth,
yep,
there's a bit where I kill Hanzo, and it's actually linked in the comments. It's like 5 minutes and something in. Somebody's like, oh, that's how you should play Tracer, or something like that.
Tell you what, I'll just switch back to cameras and I'll find that and show that, because I remember.
Well, find that stamp and then go back a bit, just a bit. There's a bit where I like run in, but that gives you an example of how I completely hard countered that guy, because Hanzo he's like pinpoint accuracy. You have to pull the bow back with Hanzo,
there we go.
Shoot at the target, and if you hit me, you kill me. But if I just run into the church, like
you're just around the little truck, and I think you're about to run into the church.
Yeah, well, just watch this. This is how, like, he got wrecked because he couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And he's just mowed down in the corner. It's like, goodbye.
Yeah, it's just impossible. Yeah, you just killed him. And I don't think he even lands a hit, does he? Maybe one?
No. If he did, he would have killed me. No, if he got me, I think he'd kill me.
Yeah.
Well, he has to pull his bow back, so maybe it's like the power generation. But she is so quick. And if you're spatially aware of what's going on, and you can think like, okay, I really know the map. So if you're good at moving around a map, like in an FPS game, you get to know the maps in Overwatch. With Tracer, you know exactly when you can blink backwards and blink to the left and blink to the right, because there's not a wall there. But if you don't know that, and there's a wall there, and you blink to the right and just bounce up the wall, you're just going to get shot. So you get killed. But if you're really aware of what's going on, and you're like me, and you kind of want to be this crazed. I mean, I did say, didn't I, before we got into Overwatch, I said, I really want to try these like fast moving heroes, like, because I know you always gravitate around like the big tank characters, and I always I want to be fast and quick, because to me it's like it's like I'm testing my skill. It's like shit. Like I really love it when there's another tracer. If I'm playing tracer and we get into a crazy duel. I mean, I show in the other video, which actually again you may as well bring this up. I'll find the timestamp for you because I know where it is because I made the goddamn video and actually edited it in. But I have a duel with a tracer, and it's just it's like.
It's the speed and reflexes required for some of the characters is ridiculous, and I don't think Blizzard fully considered that some casual players are not going to be able to play certain characters in that game. Like, I'm terrible at Tracer. I know I'm terrible at Tracer. I don't have the reflexes for it. It's one of the reasons I've said repeatedly that I'm not good at FPS
have
games.
you got the video open? Oh well, it's just Overwatch is casual, not likely love. It's 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Just play from there. Give me a time in though, so I can
2 minutes
watch it as well.
There we go. We are dead on 12. Don't autoplay. YouTube, thank you. Right, we'll do that. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, so I'm just traveling around the map and I'm like, oh fucking hell, there's Mercy and Tracer. So I want to kill Mercy straight away because she's the healer. If she's alive, well, Tracer's gonna kill me. So I've killed her, and then Tracer's come at me, and now it's like a crazy fight of everyone rewinding time, jumping around all over the fucking place. You see how like I backed out of the door because I knew the door was behind me, like without being aware of what's around you. And it's like she's trying to go for the health, and I shot her in the head. Now, admittedly, I only just killed her, but it's crazy fast. Still, that is.
It was it's a really good fight to watch, but it's also it's just too quick for certain characters. It's just way too quick. Like I know I wouldn't be able to do that. I would lose to that Tracer because I don't have the reflexes. I don't have the speed of reaction. I mean,
I'm not trying to big myself up here. If you go back a little bit, right? So if you go back to like 2 minute, if you go back to like, right, it's 2 minute 25, and just watch the way I blink there. I blink backwards out of the door because I know it's behind me. Now, if you blinked into the wall there, she just drilled me in the wall.
Yeah.
Because I knew the door was behind me, so I've like blinked out, and it's like, oh, without realizing that. I mean, obviously it's clear that the door was there, but look, I've blinked down the steps, and I'm still shooting, and I'm diving back in on her.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, this is really fucking good. Yeah, Hanzo's. I like killing him. He's funny. I don't like it when he's at range, though, and he shoots me, or like Widowmaker when she shoots me at range and I instantly die. That's not funny. I don't often get like overly excited about games and sit here like, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Because Overwatch is not revolutionary, but it feels so good to play. It's hard for me to convey.
It's Blizzard again.
No. It's different. This is different because it's not.
So you mean not in terms of like the quality of how it looks or how it runs? You mean just the actual feeling of playing it?
Just what they've made. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, actually, no. Okay, I'll agree with you on that. I will agree with you on that.
I don't want to sit here and go, this is the fucking best game I've played all year, but I think it is. I really think it is, based off that experience they've gave me with that character. Now, I've played other characters like McCree, who I quite like him as well, but he's much slower moving, but he's higher damage. He's almost like he's got a D-Eagle from Counter-Strike kind of thing. That's his kind of thing. Yeah. But through playing Tracer, I am like, you've given me a character here, and I can play this game where I get these, when you get the feeling of like, holy shit, what the fuck have I just done there? And you very rarely get that in games, especially multiplayer games.
But
right?
You say that, I get that as well. I mean,
no, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Hang on, let me just move my point. But when I killed the other Tracer in glorious mano-a-mano combat, and you could see it wasn't a bad Trace because it wasn't like standing there and getting shot. It's like, get out the game. I've wrecked you. It's like, yeah, come on. And then I want to go again. And I'm more suited to the fast moving around stupid shit. And like you said, with Reinhardt, you get a good charge off. You fucking wipe half the team out. Like me with McCree, I get a good ulti off, and I fucking capped 5 of the team. It's like, that's the whole team. I've killed him with one shot. It's like, what the shit? I
don't get that feeling from playing first-person shooters traditionally. I just don't, because I'm not very good at them. I get them from like RTS games when I've won a race, and like when I used to play Need for Speed a lot and stuff. In Overwatch over the last 2 days, I have had more holy shit, that was awesome moments than I think the rest of the year combined. Like when we were playing yesterday, we had we had a really close game, didn't we? Where we were on the verge of losing, but we didn't. We won because the payload was about to get onto the platform, and their entire team was stood round it, and I managed to run into them as Reinhardt, use my ulti to knock all of them down. Then I charged into like, I think it was 3 of them. Was it 3 or 2? and when you charge as Reinhardt, you pick them up as you charge.
He
and
throws
slam
them out of the way,
into a wall.
Yeah.
I picked up 2 of them, slammed them into the wall, turned around, killed another guy with my hammer, and then the game ended and we'd won. And that was like, that was just, I couldn't believe how good that felt to do. And then it got at the end of every game, there's play of the game as well, which I'm still trying to work out exactly how that's figured out. I think I think as you said, it's probably something around player deaths, and it's either how much damage someone did, or how many kills they got, or how much healing they did. Maybe it's how much damage caused, or how much damage healed, or tanked, or something. But that was like, I got to see what I did, like maybe 20 seconds later, because that was selected as the player of the game, which, to be honest, it probably should have been, because it wrecked the entire other team. They all died, and it won the game, because otherwise it would have got the thing onto there, would have lost. But every time I play Reinhardt or Bastion, I still haven't really experimented with that many of the other characters, but Reinhardt and Bastion, both of them, as Bastion, if you can run in and you can set up whilst everyone else is having a fight and set yourself up in such a way that you can cover the entire field, and then you just open up and wreck like 3 people, just kill them, and they've got no chance. They can't get over cover, they can't move. You set up into sentry turret mode and you just destroy them. That is an amazing feeling, because on the face of it, I mean, both Reinhardt and Bastion, I think, are characters that are easy to play. They are definitely easy to play, but I think they're probably going to be characters that people pick because they're easy to play, but then don't do the right thing with them. Like we saw a couple of times yesterday, there was a Reinhardt that just charged for no reason.
I mean, the game's obviously still young, so, people are not going to be fucking dating on a pro. Like, I had to use this guy. Yeah.
When you pick up Reinhardt, it's like, oh, cool, he's got a charge that can pick people up. And the instinct is to just charge. And just like, you see someone in the distance and you go, I'm going to fucking come for you. And you go after them. You shouldn't do that because they can move out of the way. Like, he can steer it a bit, not a huge amount, but everyone else can just strafe. So, like, you can charge at someone. And I did this to another Reinhardt of the other team, like twice. He charged at me from the entrance to their base, and I just stepped to the side, turned round, waited until he'd hit a wall, and charged into him before he'd finished moving, and killed him outright. And both of those times, it was like, yes. I fought someone else who's playing the same
You were the
character,
better player,
and I knew what I was doing, and I fucking wrecked him for it.
The game has got this thing where it really heavily rewards skill. And I said in the video I made, I really did not expect that, because everybody thought it was going to be this casual game. They even said, I remember watching them sitting on the stage at BlizzCon last year, and they're like getting asked questions about it, and they said, yeah, they're characters we've designed so people who are not good at FPS games can play, and it's supposed to be like a player-friendly game. Blizzard have got this massive audience of players who play World of Warcraft and Hearthstone, which are casual games. Not exactly fucking rapid, are they? You need to really... Okay, maybe if you're playing WoW Arena or something, maybe it is. But the general population of those games, they're not. So we're expecting something which looks nice, got nice sound effects, usual Blizzard polish, all that shit. And then it's a bit crap because it's a bit easy, and but no, what they've actually given us is the FPS equivalent of StarCraft. So you're just going in and fucking it's like it's almost like you come in and it's like, are you better than me? Let's go, let's find out, mate, let's find out. I've killed you. Oh shit, you've killed me. You're like, what the shit? And then it's like, wow.
I think the thing is though, it's not as casual as they said it would be, but
no, it's
nowhere near as casual as they said it would be. But on the upside, in a way, they haven't lied. Like, I can play Overwatch. There are characters there that I can play. And I'm not going to, having said how terrible I am, I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm the best Reinhardt player in the world or anything, but I'm not shit at that game. I should be, because it's a Twitch-based FPS, but I'm not. I can actually play
Reinhardt is a really powerful tank character. Like, Winston's okay, but Reinhardt is way better, because Reinhardt, you can just press right mouse button and negate all of the range damage coming onto you. So if you're completely shit and running through the middle like a fucking tit, like, what? Shield's on. And it's like, mate, what is this shield? And it seems to last for a long time, Reinhardt's shield does, compared to Monkey Man's dome shield. It doesn't seem as good. And then, obviously, if Reinhardt's shield goes down, well, he's got a decision to make now. What's he going to do? He's probably going to charge, and he's just going to rush in and go crazy. That's bad for a lot of characters. Like, it's really good for killing Bastion, isn't it? That's a good tactic. Fucking rush into Bastion and smash the shit out of him. He can't do anything. But if he was to try and charge a Tracer who knew what it was doing, he would just get rinsed, because he would run around him. He's got one ranged attack, hasn't he? But I think there are problems with class balance, but there's going to be, because that's what the whole point of the beta is. I think as well, Reinhardt is powerful and really easy to play and powerful. When you've got somebody who knows what they're doing, they can win the game. Yeah. Like, you've won the game a few times when we've been playing, and it's like, that couldn't have been done with other characters unless they had their like ultimates up. Because Reinhardt's, I know the example you gave, you did have your ultimate because you smashed the ground, but even just the fact that this massive metal guy is rushing in and you know he's going to put his shield up straight away and you can't get through it unless you want to run up to him, which will probably hit you with his hammer or his teammates are behind him. It's like, wow, it's off-putting.
It is strong. But I think that's a big part of how you play him. He has a lot of intimidation factor, but a lot of people. This the other thing as well is it's kind of interesting when you play him and when you watch other people play him. Like, I will walk around with the shield up, obviously, because that's the point of the character.
Oh yeah.
But if you get shot in the back, the shield does jack shit because it's directional. It faces the way that you're facing. And likewise, some abilities and like explosions and grenade. Like, I think I can't remember.
Farah, just the flying one with the rocket.
Yeah,
she's like hard counters.
There are multiple characters that just the shield doesn't matter. You could have it up, you're still going to die to them unless you do something about it. And I've seen multiple people playing Reinhardt where the shield stays up all the time until it breaks, and that's all they do. Like, they won't try and break the enemy team up. But I know it's not been out for very long, and it's only people who played it a little bit. You can't become an expert in a character that quickly. But already I kind of feel like there are going to be characters in there, and I think I'd include Reinhardt in it. I don't think he's going to be one of those things that's like, oh, you've got to be a master to play really well. I don't think that's true. But there are basic judgment calls that I think people will mess up. Because
what, it's very similar. It's less like StarCraft and more like a MOBA in that sense. Because critically, the whole game will come down to one split-second decision. And if you don't charge correctly, or you're fucked. Yeah. I mean, remember the time that guy, I forget what the map was, but we're on the point, and he just charged you and him off the map. It was like, that's great, but you've took both of the teams are the same. There's no benefit there. He might have killed you, but you've killed him, and he's killed himself. And it's like, well, that's crazy, you madman. That's not worth. That was not worth doing.
That's something that whenever, like, whilst I'm playing the game, if I've got my shield up, I'm all the time. I'm looking round, and I'm like, when can I put the shield down? I think people seem to treat, especially, it seems to especially be quite bad. He's quite bad for that, where it's like the shield makes you feel like you're invincible. Because when people shoot it, the health of the shield goes down, but you don't care because you're just like, yeah, whatever, mate. I've got a fucking shield. Carry on. I don't care. The shield will go down and you will die when it goes down. There's no point trying to you can't just stand there and hold it. But I see a lot of people do it. But you've got to constantly be looking, kind of going, well, okay, I've got the shield up now, but it's only got 1,000 health left. If I drop it and I charge that guy, or do I drop it and fling my ranged attack at that guy? Do I drop it and move into that building and then come out with it back up again? And so many people just walk around with it up, and then the shield shatters, and then they try and charge you, but they're down to 1 health and then they die. And it's like, you can't do that. And I kind of like that it's like, there is a character in there. There's at least one character that I've found so far. And really, I just enjoy playing Reinhardt so much that I've not put a lot of effort into playing the other characters.
Which I don't think is a problem. Honestly, I don't think that's a problem, because a lot of the characters are very... Like, I've played probably 4 characters, right? So I've played Tracer, played her the most. I've played Bastion. I've played McCree, probably the second most McCree after Tracer. But then I've been playing Soldier. Now, Soldier is... He's one where he's not flamboyant. He's not flash.
Even his name is just Soldier 76. It's
and like, he's kind of boring. He's a guy with an assault rifle that can just keep firing, fires 25 shots, reloads quick, fires 25 shots, reloads quick, can put a heel down on the ground, and then can fire like a rocket with his right mouse button out of his gun, which is a fast-moving rocket, and to be fair, does quite a bit of damage, but it's only a small explosion, but it generally does like, almost enough to kill people outright if you hit them with it, apart from the big classes like, the Roadhog and Reinhardt and people like that. They can take the missile and laugh at you, but he's not a flashy hero. But I got 39 kills and like 3 deaths with him in one game, and I just was like, it felt boring. But I did the most damage, I had the most kills by fucking miles, and I'm like, wow. But if you're one of those guys who wants the play of the game, you ain't gonna get the play of the game with him, because it's like playing a support class. Okay, his ultimate is when he uses it, he gets aimbot. And it locks onto everybody, and whoever you aim at, it automatically locks onto them, and you can fire, and then you can fire. But it's not like McCree. It's not like a headshot, which instantly kills them. You've still got to fire, and a lot of the time you have to fire the whole clip and then fire again. So you don't get like 5 kills dead quick. So he's not a flashy hero, but he's really useful.
He's very
but
effective.
You're very rarely probably going to get the play of the game. It's like Tracer. The only time I've ever got play of the game with Tracer, I've got it a couple of times, is when I've sticky bombed. I've jumped in, sticky bomb, rewound time, shot a guy, the sticky bomb's gone off, killed like 2 people, and I've mowed somebody down with my gun, and that'll be play of the game for Tracer. McCree, I've got it like, I think I've got it 3 times with McCree, and it's always his ultimate, because you just run around the corner, and it's like, woo!
Well, it's the same thing.
And
That's
like
the same thing I found with Reinhardt. I don't think I've ever got play of the game just doing like blocking duty or tanking duty, which is what that character's about, really. I mean, make it sound very flashy with charging in and beating people up with your hammer, but most of the game you're not doing that. You're protecting the rest of the team. You're using your shield, or you're just body blocking people. That's actually why I really want to try Roadhog again, because on the second to last game that we played last night, there was a Roadhog on the other team, and he wrecked me over and over again. Like, for a start, I didn't realise this, but the pull he's got. So Roadhog is in with the tanks, and it seems a bit weird because you look at Reinhardt, he's got a directional shield that he can walk with and move around, and he's got his hammer and he can stun people. Winston has got his big dome shield that he puts down, and he can jump on people, and his ultimate, he goes mental and goes monkey mad and starts beating people with his fist. You've got, I can't remember what the name is.
You know his ultimate? I wasn't using his ultimate, right? Because his ultimate, the shift instantly refreshes, so you can just keep monkey jumping everywhere. I didn't realise it did that. Yeah, so he just keeps going crazy and can go all over the place. It's like, ooh, it makes him much better than I thought he was.
That's quite good. Yeah, who's the Russian lass? I can't remember her name, with the pink hair.
Oh yeah, with the shields. Yeah.
By the look of it, she's probably the hardest to play, because I tried her and her gun's piss weak. It doesn't do anything, but she can make people invincible for a short amount of time, including herself. Yeah. And her ultimate draws people together. So it's obviously meant for like massive team burst damage. So you draw the entire enemy team together, and then
chuck the Tracer sticky bomb in, it blows them all up, and then you've got 5 kills. It would be like, we're going to see that. We will see that as teams get into this game. You will see like crazy like synergy between characters. I mean, what we've been playing at the moment, after 2 days, it is a bit of a clusterfuck. But you are starting to see how characters are being used. Like you say, Reinhardt is a tank. Yeah, he is. But Reinhardt is a tank who I don't think he's the guy at the front of the team when the team's advancing, but then he can just rush into the enemy team, and suddenly they've got a problem, and they start trying to kill Reinhardt.
Isn't he? He's like a front line tank.
It makes him so much more effective than Winston, because Winston can drop his dome shield down, but then people instantly stop shooting it because they know it's not mobile, and they just ignore Winston. And if Winston wants to come out of it, he no longer has his shield, whereas Reinhardt's running at you with his fucking shield, and you're like, uh-oh. You're shooting at him. Like, I've done it loads of times as the DPS characters. I'm shooting his shield like, please break, please. And you see it cracking, but it's not enough. And then you're getting shot through it from behind. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I think there are characters who are I think top tier at the moment. But it's very early, so it's hard to say like, oh yeah, Reinhardt's OP. Or people have been saying Bastion's OP. Now, but is Bastion really OP, or is Bastion just easy to use? What I would say, the only one I've got an issue with is Reaper. And the only reason I think I don't like him at all is he's got his E ability, I think, is a teleport. So he can teleport, he stands still, goes whoa, and then just teleports wherever he's looking at, which is pretty good, because if he's got his Q up where he just starts shooting with his shotguns in all directions, it's like an AoE around him. So if he teleports into a group and does that, well, that's bad. His other ability though, his left shift ability, it turns him into like a Spectre, and he's invincible, and he can just fly around, not very quick. But this means against
it's really annoying
Reinhardt, he can just wreck Reinhardt, because as soon as he gets close in, his shotguns just do ludicrous damage, and you're dead. He wrecks Bastion. When you get him in a corner and you think, I'm going to kill him, he just goes invincible, flies about a bit. And because the game's happening so quick, you're often firing at him. Maybe you use abilities at him, and he's just like, I'm invincible. He's the only guy in the game who has got an ability which, like, for the period of time it lasts and how effective he is in close combat, and just like he can just you go to kill him, he can just go nope, and he can just literally do that. Nope, fuck off, I don't want to die to you today.
This is the difference, like with Reaper and the Russian lass, is she
can make dead quick, isn't it?
She can make herself invincible, but it goes very quickly, and she is not going to murder you in close combat. She just isn't, because her gun's not like her damage is just abysmal. It's just no good. Whereas Reaper will just wreck you. And the thing is, like, Roadhog, that was it. So you got the 4 sort of tank characters with Reinhardt, shield, Winston, shield, Russian woman, shield. You know, they've all got abilities that protect either themselves or others. In fact, they've all got abilities that protect everyone in some way or another. Because the dome shield, that will help other people.
Oh yeah,
and
that's good for putting on top of the objective when it moves. That is, it's quite good for that.
The Russian Lask, she can make other people invincible for a short amount of time. Roadhog is under the same classification as a tank, except he doesn't have any shields and he doesn't have any buffs for the team. And I tried him once and I was like, this guy's crap. Like I'm used to being able to protect the team. Like I'm tanking damage for the team. I'm stopping them from getting hit, and I can go in and break up the line. And I was like, this Roadhog guy's terrible. He's supposed to be the same class as hero as this, as Reinhardt. No, that doesn't work. Until I came up against the Roadhog that was on the other team, second to last match we had last night. And then I realised what Roadhog is. He doesn't have a shield, but he does have 600 health as standard.
And he can keep healing himself.
And he can keep healing himself over and over again. Like, he's got a flask with him that he drinks out of. His weapon...
Well, I know. It's gas, I think. He puts it into his gas mask.
Inhales it and he get all the... Yeah. And he's got the hook, which can hook other players in towards you. For a start, he can hook Reinhardt whilst Reinhardt's charging. So
Does that cancel the charge?
Yeah, it cancelled it and it stuns you. Good. And then he blasts you in the face because his weapon is like a shotgun style weapon. He's either got a short range blast, which the spread is ridiculous. It'll hit everybody in front of you, just anyone. It's got such a huge blast radius on it. And he's got a medium shot, which doesn't do quite as much damage and it isn't spread out as much, but you can use it more accurately. And his ultimate is he cranks his weapon. He's got like a handle on the side, and he cranks it, and it just deals stupid damage, and it flies out in a massive sort of AoE out from in front of him. And I think, does it knock people back? I think it knocks people back, doesn't it?
It says the description's very weird for it. It does say it knocks people back in close range or something, but it's not a close range ability. It's a fucking minigun he pulls out and just starts shooting people. Yeah, he shoots everybody with it in front of him all at the same time. Though.
I realised that the problem that I was having when I was playing him was I was trying to play him as a similar tank to Reinhardt and to Winston and to the Russian woman, because they kind of have similar playstyles in a way. Like, you need to kind of get in amongst people with those characters to really to push things forward. Roadhog is he's like the backbone of the team, and when someone comes into the team to deal damage, he just wipes them out. Like, if he hooks someone and then shoots them in the face with his gun, 2 shots and you're dead. He'll just waste you, but he's got no long range. Like, he does not engage. Roadhog doesn't engage. He gets the people that are like skirting around the outside of your team, and then he pulls them into the team, and then they just get annihilated instantly. And any damage that he's taken in the process, he heals up. So it was a game that we lost thinking about it. Any time I attempted to break up the enemy team by charging in with Reinhardt, I'd stand there, I'd soak up the damage, I'd see an opening, I'd see someone, I'd charge in. On the rare occasion I did actually manage to hit them before I got hooked by Roadhog, I would only kill one person, because then I'd be hooked by Roadhog and I would die. And the charge that's supposed to disrupt the team and break them up for the rest of my team to go in and start cleaning up, which is what Reinhardt does, he breaks up the enemy team, it's gone. Like, it's gone straight away. And it's just, my team has lost their tank, they've lost the damage shield, and their team has still got their tank, who's standing there at full health because he's just healed himself. And if someone tries to go in again, he'll just kill them as well. He looks a lot harder to play, and you need to have a lot more patience. But it was one of those things where I kind of realised, okay, that's how you play that guy. And I get that, like, every now and again, I like it when you play a new game and you try something and it doesn't work, and then you look at someone else doing it and you're like, shit.
That's what makes this so good. It's having a high skill ceiling. It's a game of, like, you're not just giving character. It isn't like, this is Tracer, this is Roadhog, this is Reinhardt. That's how they play. You've played them for 5 minutes and that's it. You can play them. If it was like that, it would be really fucking boring.
Yeah.
But instead, they're so complex. They're simple yet complex, and if you put the hours in, you will be able to tell a guy who is way better with Reinhardt than a guy who is not. I mean, I only have to watch, I watch Kiri and I watch the other Reinhardts and I laugh, and we're playing the game together and I'm pissing myself laughing. Look at this guy, he's fucking charged into the wall. I mean, what the hell is this? Like, he's just gone into the wall. He's trying to get me. Why would he be getting me? I'm Tracer. It's fucking stupid. He just ignore me. Like, just let me do whatever the hell I'm doing. He's not going to never kill me. He should be focusing on somebody else. But no, he's trying to chase me and he's just gone into a wall. It's like, what an idiot. We're laughing at him because we know that's not what you really should be doing with him. And on the other hand, like Kiri just said, he sees the guy playing Roadhog, which, like, to me, listen to that, now it does make sense because Roadhog has got so much health. He isn't going to die instantly.
No.
So if he can exchange a couple of blows with you, take his gas, come back out and keep going. And if anyone jumps on him real close, he can slap them. I mean, I've been killed with him quite a few times as Tracer because he just shotguns you and you die. Like, you just die straight away. It's like, well, okay. If you get hooked by him, it's fucking bad news altogether. But yeah.
Well, like that's also...
so just having that, in the game means Blizzard are making a game here, which, as we said, is not a game we expected, and it's a game with such a high skill ceiling, a game with most likely massive longevity, which is what they want. And we've played it for 2 days, and we've had so many examples of crazy shit that's happened. It's just like, this game is just going to keep giving and giving and giving.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see I don't know where this is going to be boring, because you could just be like, I mean, I could happily play Tracer for the next week, solid, and just pick nobody else. And then I could be like, well, next, there's so many other characters, I think I'll try this one. And then maybe I see something on YouTube where somebody does something with Tracer, and I go back to it. Or maybe there's some other and it's just like, whoa.
And as they introduce, I mean, assuming they're going to introduce more characters as they go along as well. It's not just going to be a static roster. They'll introduce new people, and
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to what we said at the very start, it's like we're expecting like a real casual friendly game. I don't think it is that casual friendly, but I think the game has got casual friendly characters in it, because I'm a filthy FPS casual. I'm playing Overwatch and I'm loving playing Overwatch because of the characters that I'm getting to play, because of characters like Bastion and Reinhardt. Tonight I'm going to play more Overwatch. I'm probably going to try Roadhog because I know,
but you know
roughly
what?
how to play Roadhog now. And these
you might say you're a casual. Well, this is an interesting thing. You might say you're a casual, in the sense of a Twitch-based, you know, you've got no health, you've got to shoot the other guy in the head first before you die kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you're not a casual in the sense of knowing what to do at the right time with certain characters that do certain things. So if I gave, you know, if you're not you keep saying you're a casual, and I don't agree with this. You're not a casual game player. You might be casual at pinpoint, ultra-accurate FPS games, but you're not casual at playing games.
Yeah.
The casual person I think Blizzard were aiming the game at is like, and I don't mean any disrespect to these people, but people who have never played an FPS game in their lives, who are happy playing World of Warcraft or Hearthstone, where they can click really slow and whatever. Not like you're in this fight and holy shit, that guy's just jumped all over you with Tracer and absolutely wrecked you and you're dead. And then you're thinking, oh my God, what do I do? And oh, this game's too quick. I am seeing a torrent of comments on YouTube videos. I've watched quite a few on other channels as well. This game's too quick. I'm not playing this game. It's way too fast for me. People have even said on our videos, it'd be like, I think I'm getting old because this seems way too quick for me. I don't think you are getting old. This is really quick. Like, this is insanely fast when you're jumping around. I mean, Farah, is it Farah? I don't know. The Egyptian rocket woman.
Yeah.
She launches into the air really quick, and then she can fire her rockets, and it's like Quake 3 rocket launcher style thing, Quake Arena, where you have to predict where it's going to land, or like the soldier I get from Team Fortress 2, but she can fly. And then you know what she's got as well? To make herself fly even more, if you want to be pro, this is again with being pro, her E is a concussion bomb. It fucking blows you away. So if somebody comes to you, you can just shoot them with it, or you can shoot it into the floor, can't you, blow, and blast yourself up into the air again, and then hover again when your left shift is down. You can even fire your own rocket.
Fucking Reinhardt and watch him fly off the goddamn map, which has happened to me
so
twice.
Good for it. Yeah, or Winston, it's really good for him as well. They come in, and you just like, nope, and you fire it at him, get away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I no doubt there'll be people listening to this or watching it thinking, Jesus Christ, and Kiri, you're going a bit overboard with this Overwatch thing, but you
can't help having fun. To be honest,
no,
that's
the only thing that annoys me is I don't think it's too good to watch when people stream. As I'd be streaming it all the time, I just would be playing it constantly on the stream.
It's just a bit too quick, but I don't know. I think there are still people who maybe it won't appeal to people who've never played FPS games before because it's too quick. But I think there will be people who don't play them regularly, or maybe they stick themselves to like one FPS game a year and they only play the campaign. They never touch anything else. I still think there's something in there for everyone, and I think provided you've got some experience with games as a whole, I think you'll find something in there for you. And I mean, I'm saying that as someone who has found something in there already. When I watched Sty play it on stream, I was like, oh shit. Because I'm not going to lie, when I watched you stream it before I got because mine activated a bit later than yours, for whatever reason.
I think a lot of people are getting that as well because they're watching me playing the really quick classes
Well,
and
that's
they're
the
like,
thing.
"What the hell is this game?"
I was watching it, and like in the chat, I was like, "Oh, I've got Overwatch. I'm going to give it a go." Inwardly, I was thinking, I don't know if doing this on the stream would be a good idea because I'm going to get, again, to use stream terminology, I'm going to be salty as fuck playing this because it's too quick. I don't play these games. I mean, I've said before I love Unreal Tournament, and I used to play Unreal Tournament a lot. But I've also said I never claimed I was good at it, just that I enjoyed it. I was terrible at Unreal Tournament, and I was watching it thinking, this looks quicker than Unreal Tournament. Oh shit, I'm not going to be able to play this. But then of course I look and it's like, oh, this guy's got a shield and he can charge and he's got a big hammer, but he's got a shield, so I could try and support the team. Lo and behold, I found my favourite character so far, and I don't have the twitch reflexes, but I can still play the game. I can still just
and
the objectives. And I can
you still
do
have a
stuff.
major and you still have like a major impact on what's going on in the game. So it's not like you're some bit part player in the back just doing nothing.
That's the worst thing for me with games that you're not familiar with that you try and play, where you'll try and play it and you might be enjoying yourself, but you're not contributing anything. That's the thing I can't stand the most. That's one of the reasons I like being a support player in games, is because I might not be the best person at this game, but I can keep the team alive, or I can heal through this encounter, or I can tank this boss. And it's that feeling of still doing something, and still doing something where the team can look and go, that was good, that helped. At the very least,
the Team Fortress 2 medic, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really boring to play, right? You've got the gun, haven't you? The needle gun thing, and you've got the healing thing, which can uber charge people. That's it, isn't it? That's all he does. And you just stand on the heavy. Well, Mercy, she is the Team Fortress 2 medic, only with a couple of different abilities. And she can, when she's in the air, she can float if you hold space. I think it's Descent of Angels or Wings of Angels or something. So she moves really slow. Now you think, well, why would you want to do that? Well, sometimes you're better off being in the air than on the floor because you can get killed pretty quick because she's fairly weak, right?
Yeah.
Her left mouse button is a heal. Her right mouse button is a damage buff. Her left shift is a rush to the aid of your ally. So you launch forward, so you can use this to fly, but launch forward to your ally into the danger zone to give them healing, which could critically save them. Yeah. And that's like, wow. That is like, you cannot be a casual player.
As well.
Yeah, that's her ultimate. She'll revive somebody, yeah. So you need to revive people at the right time. You need to know when to use your left shift. You need to be... It does tell you when people are critical. It'll be like, critical, and you've got to get over there and save them. But that's not casual. That's not like... oh, I'm just standing here healing. It's like, no, you've got to go out into the fucking front lines and start healing.
We came across a really good Mercy when we were playing, who we were killing. Well, we weren't getting last, like, what's it called? Because you can knock them out, kind of, but they can be revived for a short time after, can't they? They've got the little death counter that comes round, the little skull, and you've got, like, it's not final blows. I can't remember the terminology now, but you've got, like, eliminations and then, like, actual kills, so to speak, at the end of the match on your profile. And we were killing people who were in the back of our team, and then we were moving forwards with the payload, and then we were getting attacked in the back, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? How did you get back there? I think it was a Reinhardt that did it the first time. It's because their Mercy was everywhere, like just everywhere. So you'd be attacking the front of their team, having a big old firefight, and she'd be in there healing someone or supporting them by providing more damage. Someone would rush in, they get killed because they tried to break up the team. We'd move forward, pushing the payload back away from where the spot is where you lose. And then you get attacked in the back, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Mercy's gone round the side, and she's res the person that we've killed, who we've then advanced past, and they've started attacking us in the back, and they've killed like 2 people. And it happened over and over.
It makes it easy for you to appreciate a good play. Like, when you see a good player, it's like, wow, apart from if it's fucking Reaper because he's robbed you. But other players, like other characters, you can appreciate, like, wow, that guy is really good. Like, I'd like to think people had thought, like, of Kiri, like, wow, what he's just done there is crazy. Or, like, what I've just done with whatever class I've been playing, fucking hell, that's changed the game. Like, when you do things, it's interesting seeing the end of the game as well, where it comes up with the vote options. And I don't agree sometimes how it omits certain people from that. Like, I think play of the game should probably always be in there, maybe. But it seems to do it off like who's had the most damage blocked, who did the most healing, who did the most like overall damage, who did the most eliminations, and all this crap. So, but like, it's interesting seeing people vote because it's not always the guy with all the kills. It'll be the healer, or it'll be the guy who absorbed the damage. And we laughed and we were like, well, that as Reinhardt, you could just fucking stand over the shield and just
Yeah.
be like, haha, look how much damage I'm absorbing. I mean, I played as Winston, and I constantly kept chucking my shield down. I didn't really use it effectively, but at the end of the game, I had like massive. It would come up with a thing, and it was like 7,000 damage. But it's not effective blocks. I'm just chucking it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's great. What am I doing on the end? But it is interesting seeing that it is trying to reward not just the guy who gets the kills.
Yeah,
because that's a big thing. Actually, I seen a video of Mercy get play of the game. My webcam just flashed. Oh, it's gone to super quality. Holy shit!
It's only waited until the very end of like 3 hours of recording. Fuck you, Skype. Why?
Well, it's like 3 hours and 41 minutes. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Mercy play of the game. Do you know what it was, bloke? Mercy crouched behind a box with the damage boost on Bastion. Oh, it's fucked itself again. With Bastion, got loads of kills, and I just thought, right, so if you're Bastion, Mercy's just stood there with right click on and got play of the game, but Bastion shot to death like 4 guys.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking, yeah, I'm going to get play of the game here. Then it just comes up at the end, play of the match. Or play of the game, not play of the day, as people call it. Play of the day. Play of the game. Mercy. And it's like, with little heel hose, and it's like, and that's it. It's like, yeah. But I think this is a problem. What the hell is going on with Skype at this time of day? There is a problem with that, because there are characters who get play of the day all the time. I'm going to get play of the millennium. That's what you want to get. Play of the fucking century. Or millennium would be better. Where I think people might feel a bit like, so maybe they need to sort of do something on that. I don't know, but it's early beta.
Although,
from what I've played, it's mental.
I guess from what I've seen, the play of the day, the person
even he's calling it play of the day now.
God damn! Well, that was my fault. I started it, didn't I? It's like, oh, I've got play of the day. Oh no, it's not. It's play of the game. But I think I kind of treat it as the play of the game is the like, not the achievement, because that's not fair, because that kind of that makes it as though the people who were in the back. Thanks. The people who are in the back, like doing the healing and stuff, didn't do enough for the team. But it's like, that's an acknowledgement from the game itself, and that's what you get. Like, everyone else in the game has got to see the play that was judged as this was the thing that turned the game around. And then afterwards, all like the 4 other people who did amazing things in the game get their own stat to show. And at first I was kind of, when I saw like damage blocked, I thought, well, I'm Reinhardt. Of course I've got like 20,000 damage blocked. Don't be stupid. Then again, having seen other Reinhardts, I think that's a fair stat to put up on some occasions, because in some game modes especially, like if you're delivering the payload, Reinhardt is just solid for that game mode. He can stand there and he can get the payload halfway across the map just by using his shield intelligently. I mean, obviously, if you don't use it properly, you die, the payload stops, and, well, that's it. But if you can keep the damage back, if you can disrupt the team enough whilst remaining with it and walking with it, it's not the most fun thing to do in the game, I'll be honest. But on the other hand, the 2 times that I have just stuck with the payload, I've got it like halfway across the map whilst everyone else was killing people, and I've absorbed a shit ton of damage. And I haven't died, but if it wasn't for me standing next to it the entire time and walking and walking and walking and shielding and dodging and shielding, it wouldn't have got that far. It just wouldn't have got that far. So when it comes up and it's like, oh, Reinhardt, 20,000 damage blocked, at first I was like, who the fuck's going to vote for that? But then, of course, people will vote for it, because they'll look at it and they'll go, well, I wasn't at that. I saw that he wasn't with it. He's just stood there and took a fucking beating for the last like 5 minutes, and we've won the game. Have a commendation. That's why you've got all that damage blocked.
I've got 2. You get epic commendation when you get. I think you get 7 votes or something like that. You get the majority of you and the enemy team vote for you.
Yeah.
And I've got it for Tracer, and I got it for McCree when I killed half the fucking team with my bloody. Well, I killed all the team basically with the ultimate. It was like, oh. And I don't know what that does. I think I remember them saying something about it where that'll change your portrait. So you'll have, like in League of Legends, I have like a diamond portrait if you're in the high divisions or whatever. I think it's something like that, but it's not implemented in the beta yet. So like I could have a fancy outline to say that I'm an epic tracer. But to be honest, I don't think they're that difficult to get, because all you need to do a lot of the time is get play of the game, because people and then end up on the end screen so they can vote for you, or just get a really high number in one of the things. Like Mercy, I've seen Mercy quite a lot. get the thing. And I think that's because players, and I vote for it quite a bit. It's the appreciation. It's like, well, when I've got this screen, it's like, okay, well, I know you've been healing, and I don't ever want to do that because I don't find it fun. So you can have it.
Yeah.
You probably kept me us in the game. I remember a time when you healed me, or I've given it to Widowmaker a couple of times because she's capped me multiple times in the head, and I'm like, that's really good play.
Yeah.
You're killing me. You're like the anti-class to Tracer,
well,
and well played.
I think that's part of Blizz is trying to make it so that everyone feels appreciative of what they do, because there are people who are going to be like, well, we're going to be like playing Tracer and going in and like wrecking people at close range and then diving in and out, and there's obvious skill there. Like it wouldn't be able to just go in and do it because you get wasted. You have to be good at the game. You have to be good with the character. And then there's less glamorous jobs, and the less glamorous jobs are healing, and they are tanking damage, and they are walking with the payload with your shield up for God knows how long. And I like the fact that it's like they're kind of pointing out that, yeah, this is not the flashiest thing you'll ever see. This is not McCree standing in a doorway and he steps out and you get the sort of ridiculous high noon music and all the targets go in and the entire enemy team dies. Like, you haven't done that. But what you have done is you have prevented the team from being damaged to the tune of 20,000 damage. And yeah, that's not quite the same as pulling off headshots every 30 seconds. But if you didn't do it, half the team would be dead. So there you go. Well done. You've done something useful. I think it's rewarding. I guess in a way, it's rewarding kind of utility, isn't it? Instead of just rewarding stuff for being flashy and quick, it's rewarding stuff for being helpful and contributing to the game in a way that in most other FPSs you wouldn't get any sort of reward for. Which I like that. I like it.
I think what really attracts me to it is the same thing that attracted me to StarCraft back in the day, where I could see, I get off on being able to get better at something over, like I'm like, okay, I've practiced and I've got better. I'm better at this game now. I can visibly see myself better at the game, and I think I can just it's already happened to me on Overwatch, and I've only played it for 2 days. It's already happened. I already feel like I am. I've been given I know I keep talking about Trace, but it's the one I played the most. I've been given a class and I've played it, and at first I was like, this is a shit. I honestly thought that this is shit because I'm just jumping about and I'm not doing anything. I'm dying. But then as I realised what I should be doing with her, and then as I got more spatially aware of what's going on the map, and as I got familiar with the layouts of the map, suddenly I could do little jumps and shit, which I was like, oh, this is quite clever. And then I started to use my rewind properly. Then I started to do that. And then suddenly it's like I just played a game that felt massively intensive. Like, you couldn't have a day off not with Trace. You couldn't be like, I'm going to have a chill game because you've got to jump all over the place. Like, if you have a chill game, you're dead. But there are some characters I think you could have a slightly chilled out game with. Like, maybe you could play Bastion. It would be more chilled because you could sit in the corner, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you still got to shoot, but you're not like all over the place. It's a more sort of a little bit of thinking goes into it rather than just pure reflexes, and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've absolutely struck gold here, in my opinion, with this. This is just like there isn't really anything else like this at the moment. People can say, yeah, you got Team Fortress 2, you got Unreal Tournament coming out, you got whatever, but this is like a different thing altogether, and it's going to have the fucking player base to keep it going. And I've spoke to people who are streamers and people who are not even, they don't even like FPS games, and they're like, fucking hell, I want to play this game because they're playing it with people. And that's a whole other different thing, I guess, with their like having like a team experience with it. But I still do believe, in terms of purely being casual friendly, it just isn't.
It's not, but it is a fucking game so far.
It's a good game, yeah.
Really enjoy it. I want to go and play more. That's all I want to do. So it's just a mark of a good game, especially a game that's in beta or whatever, where you put it down and then you just think, maybe I could have one more match. It's like today, once we finish this, I'll go and I'll watch a bit of TV with my wife, have something to eat. I'll be playing Overwatch probably by about 7 o'clock or so. I know I will, just because I'm just enjoying it so much. And if they can manage that with something that ordinarily I wouldn't be interested in, then they're absolutely doing something right.
I'd like to know what you guys think about this because, as I say, there's a lot of polarizing comments. There's things like, "Oh god, it's too quick," but then that's probably because you're watching me play Tracer. It'd be nice to see. I mean, I'll probably play as like some of the other classes. Like, it would be nice to play as like Reinhardt or someone and put a video together just to show the difference.
The Reinhardt stuff, so I might cut something together.
Well, yeah, you could do it. Save me the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's, yeah. It's crazy. I think it's really good. So
that is it for Pubcast, ladies and gentlemen, this time. If you want to support Pubcast, then, as always, you click the link up there, click the link down there. If you do so, then you will get a shout out at the next Hot Fix, which will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday. And, of course, come back in a week's time for the next Pubcast. I think by the sound of it, we're going to go and play more Overwatch. So,
oh, Lord.
But you never know. We might try and play a game other than that before next recording. Otherwise, it's just going to be the entire... In fact, if we don't, then Pubcast will just be an hour and a half of playing Overwatch whilst talking, and you can have that instead. I'll get no views. Thank you very much for watching.
They might get all the views, bloke.
It might. An hour and a half solid of nothing but Overwatch. Christ. Get to listen to me shout at the Reinhardts. Bye-bye.
Bye.